Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, 3 people were arrested after law enforcement agencies executed a drug bust in Goliad over the weekend. And across the nation, President Biden was in Selma, Alabama Sunday to commemorate 58 years since the landmark Bloody Sunday March. Plus, another powerful winter storm battering the Northern California mountains, causing treacherous conditions.
And on the outside, foggy conditions, looking like the fog is continuing to thicken up in and around the DeWitt County area. And this is Cuero, by the way, see the water tower right there. Humidity increasing, yes it is, and ahead of the next system, which may bring us some rain by the middle and latter part of the week. We'll take a look coming up.
The #1 ranked Houston Cougars barely escaped with a win over Memphis. Coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astra and today is the 6th day of March 2023. The time is now 6:30 on your Monday morning, and today it's National Dress Day. So while you're picking out what you're going to wear today, why not pick a dress? Throw some leggings on if you think you're going to get cold. I know I love wearing dresses. Let's go ahead and turn to First Warn Storm Team Meteorologist Trey Mining. Trey, I think you'd look great in one.
Well, let's see, I don't wear dresses, thank you very much, but I don't know if I look great or not, but let's just not find out.
Let's just not find out, Trey.
I'm not even going to go there with that one.
Trey.
What's that?
I'm just teasing.
I thought so. I'll give you the weather here, 62 degrees on the outside, calm winds, seeing the foggy conditions there in the background there. With the dew points also 62 degrees, of course, they're right together, causing that invisible fog to become visible and thicken some areas. And currently we have a fog advisory to 10 a.m. for Jackson County, Portland County, and Matagorda County, and also zero visibilities up there in Gonzales County. I'm looking for a fog advisory for those folks there coming up before the morning is done. So be careful driving out there, of course. Temperatures in the 60s this hour through the 7 a.m. hour. Of course, it's not too far from now. And we'll be well into the 70s and 80s by the afternoon time, about 3 o'clock, hitting our high temperature, about 82 degrees, I'm thinking. Currently in the visibility categories, zero visibility up there in Gonzales County, 2-mile visibility in Nixon, 3-mile visibility here in Victoria. And begin to thicken up there. That's the reason why the fog advisory in the eastern counties from Ganado area to Bay City, Palacios, and Wharton, Ocampo, and points to the east. So no matter what, of course, be careful driving out there, as we always say. Reduce your speed and low headlight beams, please. And we have the humidity has returned off the Gulf of Mexico, bringing most of the state under the humid conditions, dry our way out west. But this is going to be in place for us here the majority of the week. Waiting for the next system, which will be a front. We'll move through here coming up by about Thursday or Friday, and which will mix with this moisture, lift it up, and cause a pretty good rain event, I'm thinking, right here, according to the model runs. So far, has 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms on your Friday. Could be going up from there. We do need the rainfall. We'll take a look at that, and the cool temperatures behind that front coming in just for the weekend. So stay tuned for the weather. Full details a little bit later on. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Trey. 4 U.S. citizens were kidnapped after gunmen opened fire on their vehicle in the northern Mexico border city of Matamoros. The 4 entered Matamoros on Friday. They were traveling in a white minivan with a North Carolina license plate. The FBI San Antonio Division Office says the vehicle came under fire shortly after it entered the country. The office says all 4 Americans were placed in a vehicle and taken from the scene by armed men. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for the return of the victims and the arrest of the kidnappers. A drug bust in Goliad over the weekend. 3 people were arrested. The operation, coordinated by the Goliad County Sheriff's Office and the High Intensity Drug Task Force Alliance Crossroads Task Force. Authorities seized 207 grams of meth during the operation. In custody is Jamie Johnson of Victoria, Danielle Hinojosa of Corpus Christi, and James Walker of George West. All face charges of manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance. Johnson was also wanted out of Victoria County for drug offenses. All suspects are in custody at the Goliad County Jail. Victoria Police Department Special Crimes Unit detectives were investigating a home in the 1200 block of Parafasol. That investigation led to the arrest of a 55-year-old man. The suspect, Stephen Orsak, was not arrested at the home, but during a traffic stop in the 300 block of West Murray Street. During the stop, Orsak was found in possession of methamphetamine. It is unclear how, but Orsak is connected to the home that was under investigation. A search was later executed on the residence, and illegal narcotics, weapons, and other paraphernalia were found. Orsak was then additionally charged for the items seized. Orsak remains in custody at the Victoria County Jail. President Joe Biden delivered remarks during a ceremony in Selma, Alabama, marking 58 years since Bloody Sunday. President Biden walked side by side with community members and activists, including Reverends Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. On March 7, 1965, around 600 people crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in an attempt to begin the Selma to Montgomery March. However, they were halted by state troopers who violently attacked the peaceful demonstrators in an attempt to stop the march for voting rights. During his speech Sunday, the president reflected on the need for people to know the truth about Selma and history overall. President Biden also noted he signed an executive order that will ban chokeholds, greatly restrict no-knock warrants, and establish a database for police misconduct. Leaders in Springfield, Ohio held a press conference Sunday providing details on the latest train derailment. Agencies praised first responders for their handling of the derailment, and during the press conference, leaders emphasized no hazardous materials have contaminated the air, water, or soil. National Transportation Safety Board investigators are expected to travel to the scene of the derailment in Springfield, Ohio today. And in somewhat related news, there was a train derailment in Manor, Texas. Gravel was spilled. There were no injuries. This is breaking overnight. And Manor PD says the San Marcos Street will be closed until noon for a cleanup. The relentless snow in parts of California, several more feet are expected in the Sierra Nevada mountains in the coming days. Meanwhile, efforts to reach people stranded by snow are moving forward east of LA.
This morning, the historic winter for the mountain communities of California shows no signs of slowing down. Up to 5 feet of snow is possible in the Sierra Nevada mountains this week, adding to the 46 feet of snow the area already received this season. Thousands were without power over the weekend, with blizzard conditions and near-zero visibility, causing accidents like this along I-80. It comes as people are still stranded east of LA, in the San Bernardino Mountains, where up to 12 feet of snow fell from back-to-back storms.
This is how we have to get people out of the snow.
Volunteers handing out supplies as some people run out of food and gas. Crews desperately trying to clear away tons of snow, hampered by wind gusts up to 55 miles per hour.
This right here is a street here in the Valley of Enchantment community. It has yet to be plowed. Many of the cars, as you can see, still buried, making it very difficult just to navigate your way through.
Officials are warning some residents could be stranded for another week. Meanwhile, winter storms now heading east. Overnight, the Midwest hit with heavy snowfall covering these roads in Minnesota. That system now moving through the Great Lakes before hitting the Northeast tonight, making for slippery road conditions tomorrow morning. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Historic snowfall totals in California's San Bernardino Mountains have closed some roads in that area, which is creating a supply shortage for medical providers who are cut off by the snow. A hospital spokesperson says Dignity Health is donating thousands of dollars worth of medical supplies to communities trapped by the heavy snow. Hospital personnel pack gloves, gauze, masks, and personal hygiene products like toothpaste and toothbrushes into boxes to be flown to those most in need. At least 4 flights worth of supplies were sent to the mountainous region. Okay, get your cell phone and scan this QR code. It's our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts, vote on our viewer poll, get the latest news, weather, and sports, and learn all about our ongoing contest right there on the app. Submit those news tips and photos. The time is now 6:38 on your Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Troubling news about the popular keto diet.
This morning, we have an update on the race for the White House in 2024. Coming up, who's in and who's out.
All right, take a look at the wind speeds currently, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, bringing all the moisture in from the Gulf with southerly winds, setting the stage for a very humid week ahead and rain chances later in the week. We'll take a look coming up.
How do I leave? Every day we help kids navigate the realities of the world and make healthy, lifelong choices. Kids learn about alcohol, tobacco, and drugs in lots of ways, often from friends and siblings. While kids may hear lots of harmful information, parents do play a huge role in helping them make the right decision. Talking to your child, sitting down to a family meal at night just to discuss how their day went, or encouraging extracurricular activities can make all the difference.
For months, we've been saying that Fred Loya can save you more money on your car insurance. But just how much more? In recent months, people who switch from Geico and Progressive to Fred Loya Insurance have saved over $1,500 a year. State Farm customers who switched to Fred Loya saved over $1,600 a year. Allstate customers saved over $1,100 a year. That's a combined savings of over $240,000 a year. So start paying less. Call or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save.
Good morning, good morning. Good time, by the way, is 20 minutes away from 7 a.m. this hour. Temperature 60s and 70s along the coast. So definitely mild to warm throughout the entire region. Foggy conditions here and there, some low clouds there in most of the crossroads, and foggy conditions up there in Gonzales and in the eastern parts of the crossroads area. We'll see some sunshine by later on today, so all is not lost. It's going to be a good day overall, I should say. And looking at the bus stop forecast for the kids headed to school, 64 degrees at the crossroads area bus stops. Dress cool for school, warm day, and seeing some sun to partly cloudy skies by the afternoon, 82 degrees by 3:30 in the afternoon when the bus comes to take you back home. So dress cool for school and make it a great day. I'll show this chart again. We're already 9 degrees above normal coming up by 7 a.m. in Victoria, and that'll take us through the rest of the time period for your Tuesday. More than likely, we'll see the cool air building to the north, from the Panhandle up north toward Kansas and Nebraska. Some of that cool air making its way toward us, but it'll be toward the end of the week before it actually gets here. So we'll talk about that, and the rain chances this will involve too as well, coming up later on in the full forecast. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. And a weekend full of college hoops upsets. The Houston Cougars trying to stay #1. And some NBA action. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
Number 2 went down, and so did number 3. So the #1 ranked Houston Cougars trying to avoid the same fate and stay put at #1, playing a tough Memphis Tigers team. Houston up 3 with 2 minutes to play, but a long-range bomb from the logo ties it right back at 63. Jamal Shead, however, would not be denied, carrying the Cougs in the final minutes and into the final seconds. Ice in his veins at the buzzer. That should keep them at #1. The Rockets snapped a long losing streak by beating the Spurs yesterday, and they continue their winning ways against them. Last night, the Rockets won both games of the back-to-back, erupting for 142 points on the evening, with 31 coming from Jalen Green. The Rockets tied for the worst record in the NBA with the Pistons. The Spurs just a half game better. LeBron James, of course, out for the Lakers and will be for the next few weeks. Lakers still trying to stay alive in the playoff race. They rode the back of Anthony Davis, who dropped 39 in the 113-105 victory. Lakers, with the win, now qualified for the 10 seed, which means they are well in position to make the play-in. That's it for your sports. Back to you.
Thank you, Zach. We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today. Plus, you can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today. Plus, the 2024 race for the White House continues to take shape. Former President Trump vowing to keep campaigning even if he's indicted in any of the multiple investigations he's facing. Meanwhile, announcements this weekend from 2 people thought to be running. One is in and the other is out.
This morning, we're getting a clearer picture of the 2024 presidential race.
I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution.
Former President Donald Trump speaking at the Conservative Political Action Conference, telling reporters he's in even if he's indicted. This as he faces state and federal investigations over his finances, classified documents, and the January 6th Capitol attack.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't even think about leaving.
One of his biggest challenges expected to come from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis hasn't officially announced his campaign yet, but he's currently on a book tour with stops planned this week in key states Iowa and Nevada.
We have a big problem with the federal establishment in Washington.
Yesterday, Maryland's former governor announcing he won't seek the Republican nomination. Larry Hogan saying a crowded field could help Trump win. Meantime, Democrat Marianne Williamson announcing she will run again. The self-help author spoke exclusively to ABC's Jonathan Karl.
I don't see myself as running against Joe Biden. I see this campaign as challenging a system.
As for Biden, at age 80, he's the oldest serving president in U.S. history, but says he will run again.
My intention hasn't been from the beginning to run, but there's too many other things I have to finish in the near term before I start a campaign.
Also officially in the race, former South Carolina Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Haley attended CPAC last week as well, and while she saw some support, she was also heckled by Trump supporters. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Refugio Mayor Wanda Dukes will be the only mayoral candidate on the ballot in May. This is reported by the Refugio County Press. Candidates had a February 17th deadline to file for the position and 2 alderman seats, but no challengers filed. Also on the ballot is Place 1 and Place 2 on the City Council. Incumbent Karen Watts will face Lala Vasquez for Place 1, and incumbent Lenny Andalzua will face Tiffany Weber for Place 2. Early voting begins April 24th and will run through May 2nd. The time is now 6:46 on your Monday morning. Still to come. Police have detained over 30 individuals following a coordinated attack at the future site of an Atlanta Public Safety Training Center.
Have a legal question that you don't have the answer to? Crossroads Law is here to help. The esteemed lawyers of the Cole, Easley & Skiba law firm are here to answer them. Submit your questions to crossroadstoday.com. This is a free service where you can find practical answers about real-life situations you might have encountered. Crossroads Law is a service of the Victoria Television Group and the law firm of Cole, Easley & Skiba, advocates of trial by jury. 25 News Now would like to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Go to the link on your screen for more information on how to download.
The Victoria Television Group is proud to honor our veterans, and we need your entries. Each month, we'll acknowledge a new veteran to salute. To submit, go to the Military Hero page on crossroadstoday.com and help us recognize the deserving servicemen and women in our community.
In this morning's GMA First Look, bird strike emergency.
Go ahead.
That's smoke filling the cabin inside a Southwest Airlines plane. Passengers using those overhead oxygen masks that drop down. The flight was headed to Fort Lauderdale from Havana on Sunday. Southwest saying there was a reported bird strike to an engine and the aircraft's nose shortly after takeoff.
We have bird strikes happen every day in commercial aviation, but very seldom does it require an emergency return. However, we always err on the side of caution, and that's what this crew did.
The plane turning around and making an emergency landing. Passengers covering their faces as they evacuated through the emergency exits. We'll have much more on this scare in the air coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Miami.
And good morning once again. Happy Monday. Trey Mining here. And temperatures in the 60s and near 70 along the coast. Areas of fog this morning. Fog advisory for Jackson County, also Matagorda and Wharton County until 10 a.m. And near zero visibility is currently staying with that in Gonzales. And we'll have cloudy skies with the morning time. Some breaks in the cloud cover by the 1 to 2 p.m. hour, which will allow the temperature to rise to the low 80s today. No rain anticipated for us, at least at this time. 82 degrees for the daytime high, I'm thinking. Morning clouds, areas of fog, afternoon sunshine. Overnight lows will be in the upper 60s, patchy fog, partly cloudy skies. And tomorrow, your Tuesday, well, 82 degrees again, southerly winds, morning fog more than likely, partly cloudy skies throughout the late morning afternoon. Keeping that trend going, 80s or so, low 80s through Thursday. Notice the cooler temperatures by the weekend front comes through on Friday with a good rain chance, 50%. And then we'll cool down to the near 70 degrees for Saturday and Sunday, lows in 50s by then. Overall, not a bad week. Be careful out there. If you run across some fog, remember what we tell you. Reduce your speed and use those low headlight beams, please.
News about the popular keto diet. New research shows the low-carb, high-fat diet may put a person more at risk for heart disease. Scientists found the diet produced higher levels of bad cholesterol and doubled a person's risk of developing heart disease. Researchers compared the diets of several hundred people on the keto diet with about 1,200 people on a regular diet in the United Kingdom. Scientists followed participants for about a decade. Researchers cautioned their study shows an association between the diet and an increased risk for heart disease, but did not determine the diet caused a higher risk. Leading us to your viewer poll, have you tried the keto diet? Let's take a look. Okay, 19% of you say yes, you have, and 81% of you say no, you have not. We want to keep hearing from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. You can also scan the QR code right here on your screen to take part. Still to come on Sunrise, News to Know Before You Go. The third and final phase of the Crestwood Drive reconstruction project begins today.
People in our community who don't have the everyday resources to sustain a regular, healthy lifestyle. Affectionate Arms Adult Daycare helps anyone over the age of 18 who has medical conditions with the simple things that we may take for granted. Join 25 News Now Live on Friday, March 17th, as we collect donations and learn more about this organization. Let's come together and help keep people a priority in our community.
At a time when misinformation is all too common on social media, we take great pride in bringing you the news that matters, that impacts your family, news you can trust. Local broadcast journalists bring you the facts, covering the stories breaking in our community and across the globe. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on local journalism. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, including Ford F-150 and the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger. So get into Ford Truck Month, Texas, and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock. Drive Ford F-150 with 0.9% for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days, plus complimentary maintenance.
Hi, I'm Charlie Garcia. And I'm Rico Garcia. And we are USA Concrete Coatings. If you're ready to upgrade your business, restaurant, garage, man cave, or porch, then you're ready for USA Concrete Coatings. We'll have your floors looking flawless with our exclusive USA Concrete Coatings products. We'll ensure that your concrete coating is strong and durable. It's antimicrobial and comes with a lifetime warranty. USA Concrete Coatings, from concrete to custom in just one day.
And now for today's question of the day. Wow, we got several guesses now, Trey. So, does the Alamo actually have a basement? Let's see. Patricia says not under the church, but under the gift shop. Luke is saying it has an attic as well. Mary Helen says yes, could have started as a tunnel. Kenneth says yes. Deborah says yes. Orlo says no. Mary says does have a lower level. And Melanie guesses no. Wow.
There you go.
We're going to learn some Texas history here.
There you go. Don't listen to Pee Wee Herman because he says there's no basement at the Alamo, but there is one. Matter of fact, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. Do your research. It's used for storage. It's under the gift shop. So there you go. Learn something today. Stay tuned for tomorrow for another great question today for you Tuesday. You get your brain going and started on the right track.
4 U.S. citizens were kidnapped after gunmen opened fire on their vehicle in the northern Mexico border city of Matamoros. The 4 entered Matamoros on Friday. They were traveling in a white minivan with North Carolina license plates. The FBI San Antonio Division office says the vehicle came under fire shortly after it entered the country. The office says all 4 Americans were placed in a vehicle and taken from the scene by armed men. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for the return of the victims and the arrest of the kidnappers. Police have detained over 30 individuals following a coordinated attack at a future site of a Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. Atlanta police released 2 videos on their social media page, one showing a group of individuals throwing large rocks and bricks and Molotov cocktails and fireworks at police officers, the other showing the destruction to a piece of equipment. Police say a group of violent agitators took advantage of peaceful protesters when they changed into all black and made an attack against police officers and construction equipment. At least 35 agitators are detained so far and charges are forthcoming. Authorities say many of those who will face charges were from out of state. None of the officers were hurt during the attack. Victoria County Commissioners meets today at 10 a.m. at the Victoria County Courthouse. We have some items from the agenda. Commissioners will consider approval of an agreement with ClearGov for budgeting software. They'll also consider approval from an invoice from Raleigh McCoy and Associates, PLLC, for the Victoria Regional Airport Maintenance Building Demo Project. If you cannot attend Commissioners Court today in person, the meeting will be available via Zoom. The third and final phase of the Crestwood Drive reconstruction project begins today in Victoria. Crestwood Drive between Navarro Street and Main Street will close to eastbound traffic. This reduction will last about 500 days, more than a year. All businesses and homes in the construction zone will remain accessible, and residents are encouraged to support businesses in the work zone. And roadwork underway in Port Lavaca. This construction mostly funded by the state at the intersection of MLK and Virginia Streets. New storm sewer piping and a junction box is being installed. The intersection will be closed until this portion of the project is complete. This is part of the General Land Office Disaster Recovery Drainage Improvement Project. The GLO grant funding for this project is just over $3 million. TxDOT launching its anti-drunk driving campaign, Drive Sober, No Regrets. The campaign comes amidst college students going on spring break. Spring break for most college students is between March 13th through the 17th, but the celebrations for many students begin late next week. One person in Texas dies every 7 hours and 43 minutes in a DUI or alcohol-related traffic crash. Throughout March, TxDOT's Drive Sober, No Regrets campaign will host outreach events at key spring break locations, and each event will showcase a mobile video exhibit featuring powerful testimonials from Texans who intimately understand the consequences of drunk driving, either as offenders or survivors. These testimonials and tips for finding a sober ride can be found at soberrides.org. We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Let's go ahead and take one last look at our viewer poll. We had a question about the potential danger of the keto diet leading to high cholesterol and heart disease. Let's take a look. Okay, so we asked y'all, have you tried the keto diet? 19% of you said yes, you have, and 81% of you say no, you have not. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to keep doing so. All right, let's go ahead and get that last look of our forecast with first warn storm team meteorologist Trey Mining.
Carolina, starting off temperatures in the 60s this hour, and it will be well into the low 80s by the afternoon time. Cloudy skies in the morning time, areas of fog, primarily in Gonzales County and points to the east along the immediate coast. But that's nothing too widespread so far. 82 degrees expected today. Morning clouds, some afternoon sunshine for us to enjoy. Overnight lows, 67 degrees. Patchy fog again, possible partly cloudy skies. Tuesday about the same, 82 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Morning fog possible. Now trend will take us through your day on Thursday. Front moves through on Friday, a pretty strong front at that with a good rain chance, 50%. Then a cooler by the weekend. Make it a great day today, Carolina.
Thank you, Trey. And thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful start to your week. Come to crossroadstoday.com for more local news, weather, and sports. And join James, Don, Our brand new Chief Meteorologist, Mark Clovio Perez, Karina, and Gina today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.